This week on GTV, GHS senior Christian Rogers signs to play basketball at Dome. Seniors discuss new technical math class, Scottsbluff National Monument plans summer upgrades, students discuss Trump and Twitter, and Gearing citizens are presented with a bond issue to upgrade our school. Stay tuned. GTV starts now.
This is GTV.
Welcome to a new episode of GTV. I'm your host, Jim Eastman. By this point, you've probably heard about the upcoming bond issue, but how much do you really know about it? I went out and filed this report.
It's just a matter of that the building is approaching 60 years of age, and certain updates have to be made.
On March 14th, 2017, the Gearing Public Schools Board of Education will ask the community to approve a bond issue to complete additions and renovations to Gearing High School. The project will focus on grade configuration, renovation, and safety and security for GHS. The estimated cost of the proposed project will be $24 million and will give a new feel to the high school building. In comparison to the old building, here is an artist's rendition of what the building could possibly look like upon completion. Heading the movement in favor of the bond issue is Gearing School's Superintendent, Bob Hastings, who has been working with many in the community to make this goal a reality.
We went through a process of goal setting, strategic planning about 3.5 years ago, and we had students involved and parents and teachers, school board members, administrators. One of the primary goals was to study our grade configuration. Gearing has the last 10-12 high school in the state of Nebraska and one of the last in the country. Our freshmen residing at the Freshman Academy over at the junior high. A lot of things are different than they were in 1965 when our building was built. The idea that ninth graders should be separate academically, from an activity standpoint, from a social standpoint, that some of those philosophies have really shifted. The committee really felt like it would be better for ninth graders to take part in the full high school program here at the high school. It would provide better academic opportunities for students. It would provide better extracurricular and co-curricular opportunities for kids, and be safer for kids, and so we felt like this was the direction to go.
In addition to moving the freshmen over to a new wing of rooms at the high school, it's also been observed that certain parts of the high school must be renovated in order to keep it in good condition.
Looking at this building that is 51 years old now, there are certainly some renovations that need to be done. To make the building usable for another 30 to 50 years, we'll need to upgrade the electrical and the HVAC system, and that's just to get the building back so that it would be usable for a period of time again.
Other renovations that have been taken into account and are being addressed are the high school's outdated kitchen, gymnasium, and locker rooms. While far from simple, the planning for the project alone has brought hard-working members of the community together. Daryl Wills, a chiropractor here in Gearing, and Allison Judy, the head of public relations at WNCC, work together to lead the Community Facilities Committee as co-chairman.
I was approached because I was one of the co-chairs for the Lincoln bond issue about 7 years ago. And I firmly believe in Gearing, I believe in the community, and I believe in the schools. Because I was able to carry that message, they felt I was very helpful in making the Lincoln bond issue a success, so I was asked to be a contributor to this one as well.
If the project is passed, it will open up a variety of jobs for architects and workmen throughout the community to contribute to the planning and construction of the renovated building. In addition, it will eliminate the issue of traveling back and forth between the high school and the Freshman Academy, as 17 different Gearing teachers must face on a daily basis.
Certainly it would create jobs in the community because local contractors would have opportunities to bid on the projects and work here. It will certainly make our staff more efficient because they won't have to go down to the Freshman Academy and then back up to the high school to teach classes, and that's difficult for those teachers, and so we want to reduce that impact as much as we can.
Additional information about the proposed project can be found at the 2017 GHS bond issue page on gearingschools.net/bond. or by calling the high school at 308-436-3125. Additionally, meetings available to the public will be held in the Gearing High School auditorium on Thursday, February 23rd at 7 p.m. and Tuesday, February 28th at 7 p.m. Remember, the vote for the bond issue will be on March 14th. I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about that in the upcoming weeks. Feel free to share your thoughts on the bond by tweeting us at GHS_GTV. Last week was Donald Trump's inauguration. I'm sure you've heard about some of his tweets, but we wanted to know what GHS students thought about his use of Twitter. Let's check it out.
Donald Trump is definitely a controversial topic, especially when it comes to his use of social media. Here are some of the opinions that the Gearing students and staff have on Donald Trump's Twitter.
He's savage. Honestly, I think it makes our country look horrible.
I like Donald Trump. He has some good motives, but I don't like him talking a lot on Twitter. I think he needs to keep his hands off his phone.
He needs a filter.
I try not to follow everything that Twitter says or what Donald Trump is saying on Twitter.
It's whatever he chooses to do. I mean, it's him. He's his own person, honestly.
He's not positively reflecting any image that we were ever, like, that the country was ever made to reflect.
He needs somebody maybe to guide his thoughts, because he definitely doesn't seem to have a political censor.
Who cares what other people think?
I just don't think it's an acceptable thing to be done by a president.
It's really bad. I don't think it should keep going.
Yeah, it's America. We got the freedom of speech, homie.
What do you think about Donald Trump and Twitter? You can tweet your opinion at GHS_GTV. This has been Cameron reporting for GTV. Back to you, Jim.
Thank you, Cameron. It's always interesting to get the opinions of the students. Speaking of the students, GHS is offering a new math course for seniors this year called Technical Math. To learn more, Josh Audley filed this report.
Here at GHS, we have a new course called Technical Math. What is Technical Math? We spoke to some of the students and the teacher of this class. Here's what they have to say.
Tech Math is a math that we are learning for the trades. It is we're reviewing the basic concepts of mathematics and then learning how that is applied to real-world problems. So we're looking at how we use mathematics in plumbing, auto mechanics, construction, in our health fields, and after we learn the basic skills or review the basic skills, then we learn how that math is applied in those specific fields.
That's keeping my basic knowledge of using small numbers and multiplying and dividing and basically doing all the small little things you have to do to, like, rebuild an engine and things like that.
I will be going into the diesel mechanic profession, and with this class it gives me basic mathematic knowledge to go through, and if I overhaul an engine, know my compression ratio when I'm done with it and make sure everything's fine, all in my head without using the quadratic formula or something.
It sounds like Technical Math will be around again next year, so if you'll be a senior next year and you're interested, look for it when registering for your classes this spring. This has been Josh reporting for GTV. Back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Josh. That sounds like an interesting math class for those students who are headed for a career in the trades. In other news, Christian Rogers recently signed to play basketball in college. Alex Ocean files this story.
If students, staff, teammates, friends, and families showed up for the signing of GHS's own Christian Rogers to play basketball and attend college at Doane University. The signing was last Wednesday in the Media Center after school, and the area was filled when it came time to see Christian sign his contract and answer press questions, take some photos, and have some cake. Christian is a great asset for Gearing, and we here at GTV hope he does well in his college career on and off the court. Zuckerberg filling in for Alex, who has lost his voice. Back to you, Jim.
Congratulations, Christian. Do you have a Google Pixel phone? If so, consider yourself lucky. Michael Hayworth filed this report.
The Google Pixel, a long-awaited phone for some, is finally being bought and used. But what is so special about it? Well, to start, the Pixel was basically created to compete with the iPhone, and it is working. In fact, it is working so well that Google can't keep up with orders, and the Pixel is now on back order. But what is so special about Google's new phone? Well, there are many good things about this phone, like the fact that you get unlimited storage for pictures and videos, or that it is the highest rated camera on any smartphone ever before. But the Pixel has more to offer than just that, such as being able to make your own cases from Google, or even being able to transfer your data from any device, including the iPhone. It seems like the only thing holding the Pixel back is not being able to make them fast enough. So the question is, will your next phone be made by Google? This has been Michael, reporting for GTV. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Michael. Best camera of all smartphones. I'd look into getting one myself if I wasn't content with my Pixel precursor, the Nexus 6P. Scottsbluff National Monument has planned some major upgrades this year. Nathan Fahrenbrook caught up with the park superintendent.
This past weekend, I went up to our national monument to see what changes were going to happen to the visitor center. So, Dan, the superintendent there, was kind enough to bring me in and bring me up to date about what was happening. But that's enough for me. Take it from him himself.
Currently, we have open right now a process we call environmental assessment. And it's for all 3,000 acres of the park to allow for public comment and to really do a review to make sure that we meet policy and protection of cultural and natural landscape. And part of that is an extension of the visitor center. What we're looking at currently is our target date to start new construction on the expansion of the visitor center will be, we're hoping in October, November at the latest of this coming year. So we've got a lot of work to do ahead of us to get that ready to go. But there will be some changes out here, and at a later time, we can talk more about what those will look like to the visitor. But at this time, the visitor center will be open, or the monument will be open during the time of construction. I do not plan to close the monument at all, but going to the top, the trails, things will be open for the visitors to come and enjoy.
Well, there you have it. All the things you should know about what's going to be coming up for this next fall. Anyways, this has been Nate Fahrenbrook. Back to you, Jim.
Thanks, Nate. We'll look forward to learning more about those upgrades. Would you like to be one of the first people to travel to Mars? It may seem a little far-fetched, but NASA appears to be working on making this a reality. Check it out.
The universe is a crazy thing, isn't it? Just that there's so many questions and yet zero answers. Well, NASA is planning on sending a group of people to Mars by 2030. But you're probably asking yourself right now, why and how? But that's why I'm here to fill you in with a little bit of the future plans. NASA says Mars is a rich destination for scientific discovery and robotic and human exploration. As we expand our presence into our solar system, Mars' formation and evolution are comparable to Earth, helping us learn more about our own planet's history and the future. But it's strange that Mars has a condition of suitable for life in its past. The future exploration could uncover evidence of life answering one of the fundamental mysteries of the cosmos. Does life exist beyond Earth? Well, this has been Santiago, and back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Santiago. Mars is definitely an interesting planet, and we have a lot to learn from it. Well, that's it for this week. For more GTV news, visit www.gearingtv.com or look us up on Twitter at GHS_GTV. I'm your host, Jim Eastman. See you next week on GTV.